looking out here at all these scholars and patriots and rabbis and pastors, what in the world do you need a loudmouth Jewish basketball coach? I'm like so out of my league right now. The lights are shining. I've actually written some notes. I can't see them, right? This is perfect. You think I'm kidding. But I like my team. I like my team. Because we are on the side of truth, and we are on the side of justice, and God is with us. And Amy, here I am, Lord. I am here. I am present, and I'm not going anywhere. I should just leave now. My wife is used to me being brief, so I should leave now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm here to speak for several reasons. Number one, I love my country. I love this country, and I would gladly lay down my life for this country. I love my ancestral Jewish homeland, and I'm grateful that we've been able to fulfill God's promise and the prophecy, and we've returned to the land. And I'm here to say thank you. I'm here to say thank you to my passionate, incredibly committed Jewish friends who have been standing up for Israel for so long. And I'm here to say thank you to my Christian brothers and sisters for embracing the Jewish roots of their Christian faith. Thank you. So I get asked a lot, Coach, why'd you leave coaching? Like, how? Why? You were kind of at the top of the game. You just went to the Final Four, so on and so forth, all right? Auburn won 5 SEC championships in the last 8 years. We've been to 2 Final Fours. For you New Yorkers, that'd be like the Jets winning the Super Bowl, okay? That's a big deal. But God did not bless me just to win more championships. Hashem blessed me to give me a platform to be able to join this Congress, to be able to fight for Western civilization, for fight for moral clarity, to fight to make sure that my children and my grandchildren are able to live the American dream that me and my family have been able to live. That's why we're doing it. This country saved my family's life. In 1929, my papa emigrated from Turnipole. He was 11 years old. He brought my Auntie Shirley, my Auntie Claire. My Uncle Harold was just an infant. Papa was 11. He left his parents behind. He left cousins, aunts, and uncles, and Papa grew up asking, why me? Why was I chosen to survive? And so he made sure I understood, as his grandson, as Mordechai, that I had a responsibility to make the most of this life and to be grateful for this country for saving our family's life. And while there is a rise in anti-Semitism around the country, I tell my players all the time, look, there are a difference between obstacles and roadblocks. You've got to be able to navigate through those obstacles. There were 3 Jewish coaches at the Final Four this year. Don't tell me this isn't the greatest country in the world. John Shire, Bruce Pearl, and Todd Golden won the national championship. This is the land of opportunity for all, and we're here to fight to make sure that that continues to be the case. So last season, on the road to the Final Four, we won a big game in Rupp Arena. We got to the Sweet 16. We beat a Creighton team that had been in the 4 out of the last 5. We were supposed to beat them, but we weren't playing great, and we win. And I'm walking down the halls of Rupp Arena with my 3 other players. I felt like Dorothy with the Tin Man, the Lion, except they were all much taller. And we're skipping off to the Yellow Brick Road to have a press conference. We're going to tell the world how we won and what we're going to do next. And we're on the Final Four. And of course, something very Jewish happens to me, okay? In my great joy, as I'm thanking God, God, please, what in the world have I done to deserve this? Thank you so much. He reminds me that not everybody else is in such a good place, right? That is very Jewish. Idan Alexander comes into my mind. I hadn't said his name ever. And of course, at that time, Idan was the only American held hostage that was still alive in the prisons of Gaza. So I said to my guys, I said, guys, you're not going to believe this. And of course, they're going to believe it. I said, this is what just happened to me. I tell them the story. I said, would you guys mind terribly if I started off this press conference in front of millions of people who don't watch CNN or Fox News and don't have any idea what's going on, that there is still an American boy held hostage and alive? Do you mind if I say his name? They're like, Coach, no, do it. Say his name. One of my players from Jersey said, Coach, the kid's from Jersey, isn't he? I said, absolutely, Todd. He's from Jersey. We said his name. The next day, Adi, Alexander, Idan's father, calls me because we're all in this together. We are in this together. Thanks me. We talked for a little bit. I said, Adi, what are you doing this weekend? We're on our way to Atlanta. We're trying to go to the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, and the Final Four. Come down. Bring your son. Come watch the game. I'm going to put you on TV. I want you sitting right next to my wife, and I want the cameras on you to say your son is still held hostage in Gaza. Would you do that? Adi said, my pleasure. I'm there, honored. So the night before the game, we go to dinner with him. I'm there with him for 3 hours a night. He's like, Coach, don't you have to watch film? What's important? I said, Adi, listen, I represent every single father. All right? We don't know what to say to you. We can't even begin to understand your pain. We just feel you, and we're sorry, and we're at prayer that God performs a miracle and brings your son home. We spent that night together. I said to him, I said, you know what? Would you guys like to watch film the next day? Come on, watch. You know, we're going to talk about the game plan, how we're going to beat Michigan. So sure. They show up the next morning right before film. Well, the film room is small, just me and my players, a couple coaches. I can't walk them in and not tell the guys who they are. So I said, Adi, would you mind if I, introduce you to, would you say something to the kids, Like 2 seconds before he walks in, he said, sure, I'd be happy to. He gets in the locker room. I introduce him. He looks around at the room. He says, guys, my son's about your age. You guys are a lot bigger than he is, but you're about his age. He loved playing basketball. I don't know if I'm ever going to see him alive again. I don't know if he's ever going to get to play basketball again, but you have a chance in 4 hours to go out there and make the Elite and beat Michigan. Our guys are ready to run through the wall. Michigan had no chance. Once again, I should have stopped talking and a couple more things. I think what many people don't understand is there is this unbroken, unrelentless, undeniable connection between the Jewish people, our faith, and the state of Israel. They don't understand it. And some really kind of don't want to understand it. We all know the connection, how we pray next year in Jerusalem, where we face all the different things that we do. And we recognize that antisemitism and anti-Zionism are the exact same things. They're the same. And obviously, we are obviously in this fight. Some have used Jerusalem as a place to divide us. I don't understand that. Rabbis, priests, ministers, I don't understand how Jerusalem has been used to divide us. I took my basketball team to Jerusalem to connect our faiths, to understand all the things that we share together. Abraham, the father of all nations. Jesus was Jewish his whole life. When Mary Magdalene saw him, she said, Rabbi, right? 12 Jewish men died horrific deaths just to bring Christianity to the world. Don't say thank you, but don't hate us. These things should connect us. They should. You know what I love to do? You try this sometime. I love to say to my Christian friends, so, who are you having over for Passover this year? They're like, Coach, we're not Jewish. I know, but you're always telling me how you want to be more like Jesus all the time. You want to be more like Jesus all the time. Jesus celebrated Passover every year of his life. He left the door open for Elijah. My Christian wife, most of the people in the state of Tennessee and Alabama, you know who the two favorite Jews are? Me and Jesus. The threats are on both sides. Last month, a young athlete burned a synagogue in Mississippi. and he talked about it being the synagogue of Satan. Where did he hear that? Where did he hear that? We know where he heard it. He heard it from the same voices that talked about the fact that way back in the day, a bunch of guys were sitting around in Jerusalem eating hummus and just decided we got to kill Christ. Same voices. So in closing, I want to ask a favor. I want to ask my Christian brothers and sisters. Replacement theology is dangerous. It really is dangerous. It's dangerous. Ignoring the Jewish roots of a Christian faith, replacing Jerusalem with the church. This is what's happening today, and it's happening all over the place. Look, we all know the American dream is on hold. The average first-time home buyer right now is 40. Your kids can't get in a home like we could get into them a little earlier. And of course, what happens when there's challenge? You blame the haves, and there's intersectionalism. You add that with the lies and the propaganda about Israel, and obviously we're a huge target. Young Christian men are being targeted. They're being targeted to sell white only, America only, not just America first, the church only, men only. And love of God and love of country is a powerful, powerful combination that is being used against our young Christians. And it's something that is obviously it's a battle that we can fight. It's a battle that we can win through education and through how we live our lives, so on and so forth. And we need your help. On the one hand, they tell me, when they hear me on social media talk about Israel all the time, say, well, why don't you just go back to Israel? Go back to Israel. But then on the other hand, they say, well, you got no right to be in Israel. I mean, this is getting difficult, right? Where the hell are we supposed to go? And we're running out of places to go. That's why I'm so grateful for your work, because this is truly, right now, it is the time, for such a time as this. And we've got more friends. There's a silent majority and a very, very loud minority. And so here's what my challenge is. All right, you remember the movie Saving Private Ryan? You remember when Captain Miller had been shot, he was on that bridge. And I remember I eulogized my dad this way. And Private Ryan came over to him. All those men had gone on that awful journey to try to save him and bring him home to his mom. He leaned in to Captain Miller. Captain Miller said, "Earn this. Earn this." Someday, when my son eulogizes me, I hope he tells that story. I hope somehow he's able to feel that I earned this life, I learned this blessing, I earned this opportunity to live this American dream. What we're fighting for is worth fighting for. And so I'll leave you with Jeremiah. I'm crying now, so I can't read. Now I really can't read. Jeremiah 62, right? There are going to be some watchmen on that wall, right? There are going to be some watchmen on that wall. I'm asking this Congress right now, are you going to join me and be watchmen on the walls, O Jerusalem? Are you going to join me? God bless America. Am Yisrael Chai.